From today, I will explain Korean fortune telling easily. I'm going to try to explain it as easily as possible. Don't think of Korean fortune telling as a difficult discipline. It's the easiest in the world. You just feel unfamiliar because you don't have anything easy to solve in English. The reason why I think it's difficult is because there are many Chinese characters and the terminology is based on Chinese characters. So it seems difficult for English speakers to access it easily. But you don't have to use difficult terms because it's a study from everything in nature. Wood, fire, land, gold, and water can explain everything. So I'm going to explain by changing the terms expressed in Chinese characters to English expressions. If you memorize only the basic letters, anyone can interpret them easily from next time. Let's have courage and study together step by step. You only need to know the top 10 passwords and the bottom 12 passwords. I will also change 22 passwords to English. Korean fortune telling means 4 pillars. Divide these 4 pillars up and down. The top is called the sky, and the bottom is called the ground. It's simple. Just put my date of birth in the Korean fortune-telling application and you'll get your 4 pillars right away. You just need to develop the ability to read it. Korean fortune-telling starts with a tremendous curiosity to know the future. Humans created God because they wanted to know the future. I was also curious about my future when I first studied. I was most curious about when I made money. Next, I want to find out who is destined to earn the most money in my family. Am I meant to be in business? Are you destined for a job? When will my spouse meet? Is my spouse destined to be rich? I was so curious. I studied Korean fortune-telling as if I were opening Pandora's box. In fact, fortune-telling is a study that was conducted in Korea to help farming using the 24 season. The fact that the Earth's 4 seasons are divided into 24 more is the detail of ancestors who want to farm well without making mistakes. As you may have heard, Ipcheon and Ipshu are all from Korean fortune-telling. Spring is coming in Ipcheon, and autumn is coming in. In Korean fortune-telling, humans are considered small universes, and are substituted for good and evil. At first, you can look at it with your eyes. Then, when you become confident in studying, it is a study to find out what fate I was born with. Then I expand my scope to my family. What you need to be careful about here is that you're sure that you know the future of your family and say, you're going to live this fate. But this is a universal behavior that beginners do when they learn something at first, so don't think I'm the only one who thinks it's weird. From now on, let's look at the future of humans with 4 pillars. There is a negative and positive in Korean fortune-telling. And it consists of 5 elements. 5 elements are wood, fire, land, gold, and water. The negative and positive are classified as follows. If I have a lot of positive energy in my fortune, I'm active and on a large scale. Conversely, if you have a lot of negative energy, you will be careful and do a delicate job well. The universe is thus divided into negative and positive and balanced in harmony with each other. Korean fortune-telling also identified 5 elements as a key factor in determining fate. It is believed that the 5 elements are composed of wood, fire, land, gold, and water. Those old intellectuals who conclude that the universe consists of 5 things are cool. The day I was born is me. It's called day. The day is one of 5 wood, fire, land, gold, and water. What energy I was born with must be one of the 5. Some were born with the energy of fire, others with the energy of water. I can't say which is better. This is because all of them are indispensable elements of the universe. If you look at this, there must be a reason why I was born in Korean fortune-telling. Now, let's look at the properties of trees among the 5 elements. Trees tend to go up toward the sun. So those who have a lot of energy from trees have clear goals and a strong sense of challenge. They are ambitious because they want to go up to the end of the sky, and they have a temperament to run endlessly through their dreams. Of course, they have a strong tendency to try new things. In order to determine the exact fate, it is necessary to look at the arrangement and harmony of the 8 characters. Still, knowing what I was born into is quite helpful. And it is also very important to know what the person I meet was born into. For those born of fire have the nature of fire, and those born of water have the nature of water. There is a Chinese saying that if you know the other person and know me, you will win every battle. The energy of the tree has the following characteristics. Just keep that in mind. 1. People who are born of trees have a lot of compassion, so there are many comfortable and good people. 2. A person born of wood hates conflict and has an innocent appearance. 3. A person born of wood is curious and creative. 4. A person born of wood has a relaxed personality. 5. A person born of wood is good at starting anything, but lacks a bit of persistence. 6. People who are born of trees have good results even if they do things that fit in with people. 7. People born of trees may look soft on the outside, but they value rules and principles inside. 8. People born of trees can suffer from gastrointestinal, liver, and back-related diseases. This is because trees attack the ground. 9. People born of trees have a great desire to grow, so it is advantageous to catch and dig deep into their strengths. 10. People born of wood tend to be a little sensitive and stubborn. This time, let's study the nature of fire. What kind of image do you have about fire? Korean fortune-telling is the study of nature. First of all, fire can feel hot. But fire is warm in winter, and it is necessary. I told you that tree likes sun the most. Imagine that. How happy would a tree be if it was looking at the sun? It's going to grow. For the sun, growing trees is the most important thing to do because it gives life energy. And if there's no firewood in the stove, the fire will soon go out, right? Fire desperately wants wood as fuel. A fire without trees has a short time to endure. Fire can maintain vitality only when firewood is supplied smoothly. The providence of the universe is seen as infinitely insufficient to exist alone. So in Korean fortune-telling, the most important thing is whether trees, fires, land, gold, and water are in harmony. First of all, a person with a strong energy of fire has a characteristic of revealing his or her inner feelings. So many people with the energy of fire are immediately marked on their faces when they are angry. They are often impatient and hot-tempered. But I think it's better for people who have the energy of fire on their faces than for people who don't know what's inside. When you meet people with strong fire energy, you should not point out to those with strong fire energy. They hate ambiguous things and have accurate self-expression. They are active, passionate, and have excellent practical skills. In interpersonal relationships, they have a characteristic of being open-minded and honest. The downside is that they have a lot of mistakes because they are impatient and spontaneous. They are vulnerable to high blood pressure, hair loss and stress because they have a lot of heat. In particular, fire, born in summer, has a stronger energy and has an instinct to find water. These people can cool down when they meet a person with a lot of water energy when they meet their spouse. The man of fire and the woman of fire have a fire-like love when they meet, but marriage doesn't fit well. In marriage, love is important first, but it is important to meet someone who complements each other while living. This is why the coordination of men and women is important. The reason why I study Korean fortune-telling is to meet a good spouse. Parents can't choose their children, they can't choose their parents, we can't even choose our brothers and sisters. The highest peak of human relationships that we can choose from is spouse. So I encourage young people to study Korean fortune-telling and simply identify and meet someone to learn. Especially, people with strong fire energy make a lot of spontaneous choices. I encourage you to meet someone with a lot of careful water and gold energy. We learned about the properties of wood and fire in the previous session. We identify personality by blood type. Would it be scientific to match the personality of type O, type A, type B, and type AB into 4 blood types? I think it is more reasonable to identify the 5 elements of Korean fortune-telling: wood, fire, land, gold, and water. Of course, don't forget to look at the distribution of 8 characters and grasp them as a whole. The land is mountains, rice paddies, and fields, and an image will be drawn when you see it. If you think that the place we live in is on the ground, what we need is land. Let's learn about the characteristics of people born into land. 1. People born of land make an honest, responsible, and trustworthy impression. 2. People born into the land tend to make deep-minded and careful decisions about everything. 3. People born with land have a strong temperament to try to collect something. It can be money, honor, and people. 4. People born of land are quick-witted and eloquent. They are also full of emotions. 5. People who are born into the land have steadiness in what they are trying to do. 6. People born into land tend to play a role as intermediaries in human relationships. 7. People born of land are creative and sometimes come up with surprising ideas. People who own land don't express themselves very well. It's like the land doesn't change very well. Also, land has a strong nature to trap something inside. People with strong energy on the ground don't like money, but they do have a lot of money. In conclusion, the land serves as a warehouse for storing property. And people who lack land in 8 letters often feel anxious. They have no place to settle down, so they don't know when to move. Let me call it mobility. During the Joseon dynasty, farming based on land was a destiny. But since modern times are active all over the world, it's also good to have a lot of mobility characters.
This time we're going to talk about the properties of gold. Gold does not only mean shiny gold, but also hard metals such as iron and rock are considered properties of gold. Doesn't it feel cold when you say metal? That's right. People born with the energy of gold are cold and not very affectionate. They have a clean and cold impression. But they're meticulous, and they're meticulous in handling what they start with. They don't say things that make others feel good because they never get ahead of what they say and consider the results. So you can trust 99% of what those born with the energy of gold say. And they like to push ahead with exactly what they plan. If people born of wood and fire are a bit immediate. People born with the energy of gold are people who want to make sure they get the results of what they did. They never act like nothing happened. The energy of gold is also considered the time of autumn harvest. Personally, you have to speak correctly to someone who was born with the energy of gold. If you just say anything, these people will recognize you as a hard-to-trust person. Next, let's summarize the characteristics of people born of gold in more detail. 1. People born of gold have great patience and self-control. So they have the power to have wealth. Money likes people who are patient. 2. People born of gold are more likely to be action before words. 3. People born of gold like to speak with facts, so they are sharp and straightforward. 4. People born of gold fit well with people born of water or fire. 5. People born of gold are very active, so they are well suited for physical jobs. 6. People born of gold. Once my people are my people forever. 7. People born of gold are perfectionists. 9. People born of gold are driven. Sometimes they are so driven that they may have a hard time with people around themselves. 10. People born of gold have strong self-control and are loyal. People with the energy of gold have a lot of charms. To be honest, 90% of the relationship was successful. Even if you met someone who knew that he was the energy of gold and thought about and dealt with the above characteristics. It's stressful trying to fit someone else's future. To be honest, the future is God's domain, and it's impossible to match its. Rather than matching the future, you can think of the purpose of studying Korean fortune telling to identify the people you meet and maintain relationships. Humans feel happy when relationships are good and live a healthy life. People with a lot of water energy don't really express their inner feelings. Where does water tell people about their condition? Well, in the old saying, people know deep water but don't know how people feel, but they don't know what's in the deep sea. So people with the energy of water seem introverted and calm. It's because the water is strong when you go to the meeting and see the people quietly and silently understand the atmosphere. They tend to follow the atmosphere. They usually say they're quiet and don't talk, but when they're angry, they get really angry. It's scary when there's a tsunami or a flood, right? The energy of the water overflows and becomes the scariest when it gets more. There was a flood in the summer, so we made the news. Anyway, Water has the property of expressing two extreme things, normal and angry. The properties of water are as follows. 1. Water has an image of alcohol. So there are many people who enjoy drinking with strong water energy. 2. Water is a negative energy. So women with a lot of water are popular with men. 3. Water flows non-stop. So it has strong persistence, endurance, and patience. 4. People born with the energy of water are flexible thinking, and adaptable to situations. 5. People born with the energy of water are often told that they are friendly around them. 6. People born with the energy of water are good at accepting and understanding other people's opinions or thoughts. 7. Many people who are born with the energy of water see good results in the achievement of their work thanks to their persistence. 8. People born with the energy of water have excellent ability to absorb and store information and knowledge. 9. People born with the energy of water adapt well to the organizational society, but they tend to have a lot of invisible stress. 10. People born with the energy of water have the characteristics of old age, so they live their lives skillfully. So far, we have learned about the characteristics of trees, fires, land, gold, and water. The basics of Korean fortune telling can be sufficiently determined by the above 5 elements and the negative and positive. Even if you don't study, I think you will know most of the negative and positive well. Everything in the world is divided into positive and negative, just as men are divided into positive and negative. Harmonization of the negative and positive is very important. A society with only men must be health, right? But if all 8 letters are positive, it's full of charisma. On the contrary, the people who make up all 8 characters in negative are completely feminine. He likes to talk about delicate things, and he is afraid of rough men even though he is a male. If you listen to this video repeatedly, I'm sure you can complete 70% of the Korean fortune telling. Subscribe, and like our love.